This past weekend I was riding and fell for the first time on my new bike, the Fuji Roubaix. I've had it for about 4,000 miles and haven't fallen once. On my old Fuji Newest, which you can see behind, oh, that's the right hand, which you can see behind the black Roubaix, I had fallen a whole bunch of times. I had just skidded on the road, fallen into grass. I had fallen several times learning to clip in because clipless pedals are difficult. I flipped over my handlebars once because a truck cut into my lane and then turned very quickly, and it pinned my wheel to the curb, and it snapped the wheel, and I went over the handlebars. I had a really bad case of road rash where, looking behind me, worrying about the two riders I was with, I got too close to the curb, didn't pull away in time, wheel clipped the curb, and I skidded going about 25-ish miles per hour, maybe a little slower, maybe like 22, 23, but that really sucked. I think because of the combination of hitting the curb and then falling the other way instead of like a slow fall, I like fell and impacted hard and slid. That took a long time to recover from. That was very painful. Didn't break anything though, and my bike was relatively fine. But I remember that day riding home and like I didn't have gloves on. And so my palms, you put your hands down pretty instinctively to slow yourself down and just, like, I want to stop sliding. And I had just worn holes through both my hands, and like on the handlebars, there was just blood dripping down. There was blood dripping from my leg and from my elbow. So that was a bad day. Today wasn't, or this past weekend was not nearly as bad. The past 8 months, I've been riding without falling on this brand new lovely bike. It's been a good time. But that Saturday morning, I was debating even going out in the first place. I woke up at 5, felt tired. I had to make a 2-hour drive later that day, so I really just wanted to get some more sleep. Really just wanted to go back to bed. But not wanting to be a pussy, I clipped in and rode into the dawn light. The roads were damp. It had rained an hour or so before, but it wasn't supposed to rain again, so I wasn't too worried. I figured they'd dry off in an hour or two. Not 5 miles in, I get to a T-junction that I must have ridden through 1,000 times before. Like, even growing up, I would ride through this periodically. And there's nothing particularly difficult about it. There was a rider in front of me, banked the turn at a reasonable pace, nothing particularly fast. I went into it not particularly fast, and I think maybe because I forgot my coffee that morning and I just wasn't as sharp as I usually was, I let my handlebars wiggle just a little bit, and that gyration in the front wheel caused the back wheel to wobble and then lose traction, and it just started skidding. And as I was in the middle of cornering, I couldn't recover, and I just very gently started sliding along the pavement for about 5 or 8 feet, and my hip did an excellent job of friction braking, bringing me to a stop. Wouldn't want to smash into anything. And I got up, I put my bike over in the grass. The two riders that had just happened to be riding with me stopped. And this is the first part of the story is just, I didn't know either of these two people. They both stopped to make sure I was okay. And if riders all over will basically help any other rider. And it's very awesome. No matter what your problem is, I've had riders stop, and I didn't even need help, but like I was changing a flat tire, and this guy stopped and just talked to me for a while I was changing it. He would have been there if I needed any help. I didn't, and it was just kind of nice having the companionship. No matter what you need, for the most part, they'll help you out. The second part to this story is I'm now faced with the decision. Should I go on, or should I just turn around and go back? It was only 5 miles. I had just done my 24-hour race, or 24-hour challenge, the week before, and I was tired from that. I was still recovering from that. There was nothing really incentivizing me to go. It's not like I really needed to get this ride in order to be ready for something. It's a very easy thing to just decide, you know what, I just got hurt, I'm going to go home. But I checked out my bike. My bike was completely fine. I fell on the non-drivetrain side. My body felt surprisingly good for having just made pretty good contact with asphalt. The skid was gone, but apart from that, there was nothing strained, pulled. I didn't feel bad walking. So I clipped in and I started riding again. And I felt fine. I felt like I could do this for a while. So I decided to just go ahead and do my workout, which was 10-mile intervals, and then I ended up doing hill sprints at the end, which was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I only did three, 2.5, 3. I say 2.5 because there's like this medium-sized hill and then the larger hill. Neither one are, they only take a minute to get up each one, and it's a 7-8% grade. So it's steep, but not a real hill or mountain. But it's a good 1-minute sprint. Should have done 8, but I wasn't really planning to do sprints, so cut me a break. And the reason why I think it was a good idea and always a good idea to keep going is because whenever you're faced with this type of decision where you can quit because things are hard, you have the ability to train some mental toughness into you and to be proud of something. Because I didn't have to do this workout, but I chose to, and I'm going to remember that choice. The other benefit is whenever you're in a situation where things are difficult and you really want to keep going, if you have trained this mentality into you, it's going to be easier. This past weekend, that 24-hour race, it was 20, 30 mile per hour winds the night before. That was kind of scary because I didn't want to be biking out in that. It started pouring rain and started lightning and thundering. And just being able to deal with those things because you haven't only ridden, you haven't only pushed yourself in ideal situations. You want to also push yourself in situations that suck. If I ever fell in a race, I would now have a lot more mental fortitude to keep going because I know I've done it before. I know the feeling of having this like painful lack of flesh on one part of my leg while I'm pedaling for that long. And the second reason why is because of your mental health for the days that you have to take to recover. Because now the mentality I'm able to have, instead of, oh man, I quit my workout, it sucks, my leg hurts, I'm not going to be able to train, I don't think I want to train because I might make it worse. Instead of that, the mentality I can have is, man, that was awesome. I was able to keep going for 15 miles after getting road rash. I know if I want to train this week, I can do it without it being that bad because I just did it. And that's applicable to all situations. Blisters, bad weather, being sick, tired, lack of sleep, injuries, all of those negative experiences can be turned into positive ones that make you proud of who you are. Proud to be someone that doesn't give in. But on the flip side, you do always have to evaluate and decide whether or not you're going to damage yourself more than it's worth it. The first step was I evaluated, is my bike okay? Am I okay? When I started pedaling again, I had to decide, does this hurt anything in a way that's really bad, or is it just my leg being painful? Muscle felt fine, tendons felt fine. It's a good opportunity to build some mental toughness. I hope that was helpful. Now go forth and experience the world on your own.